everyone, it's prom season once again, and if you're in the UK it is, if you're in America it's probably already been. I had prom 2 years ago now. Was it 2? Oh my god, how has it been 2 years since I had my prom? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I had my prom 2 years ago. I made a video last year, actually I made 2 videos last year for prom. One of how I did my makeup for prom, and another how I would do it now. This video, sort of similar to the latter of that combination. This is another video on how I would do my makeup now. If I had the skills that I had, this is how. If I had the skills now, back then, and all the makeup products back then too, I would do this look. I think it looks really nice. I'll probably actually change the eyeshadow. I'll probably have a matte eyeshadow, and I would probably like still have the same lip combo. I wouldn't have the smudged mascara that happened though. If you want to find out what happened, then just stay tuned. And if I went to prom now, I wouldn't have my hair curly. I'd have it straight like this. Although this was yesterday straight. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is probably a long one, to be honest. I mean, I've been filming for like 40 minutes. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. So yeah, just. Okay, before I get started on this makeup, I just want to let you guys know that my prom was like 2 years ago now, and I did my makeup very differently to now, how I do it now, and how I would do it now if I was going to prom. All I can say is, like, just practice your makeup. If you're doing it yourself, practice your makeup beforehand. Don't use a foundation that you've never used before. Make sure you've tested it out before. Make sure that you've used all your products before and things like that, so you know how long things last on your skin, and things like that. Another thing I would recommend is moisturising. I always recommend moisturising anyway. Just don't have one with SPF in it. This one's just like a really cheap one. This one's the Boots' own brand. Cucumber Moisturising Lotion for a smooth day. I don't know why it's a smooth day. This is like £1.50 or £1.75 or something like that. And usually they're on 3 for 2 in Boots. So I highly recommend getting those. Well, just like taking care of your skin in general is like a really big tip I have for prom. So I'm just going to zoom you guys in and we can get started on the makeup. Okay, so before I start, I just want to let you know I'm using the Soph palette as a mirror. And also I'm not just going to be using drugstore products, I'm going to be using like higher end products, but I will give like drugstore alternatives of like my favourite things from the drugstore that I like just as much, but you get my gist. So, foundations. Actually, let's start with primer. I don't usually use primers, to be honest. I have everything on my bed right now and everything is scattered. I have a few that I really like. So I recommend always going with like a moisturising primer, even if you've got oily skin. If you're using a matte foundations look better on moisturised skin. Like, you don't have to just use moisturiser, you can use primers as well. But the Revolution Pro Pore Primer is really good if you want to have a pore filling primer. However, I have noticed that using a pore primer has broken me out recently, so I stopped using those. But that's just like my recommendation. Then I've got the Revolution Star Primer, which I absolutely love. It's just like a water gel primer. And then I've also got the MUA Pro Base Oil Free Primer. No oil, well, it's water based and silicone free and no oil. I'm going to be using the Star Primer today just because I use this one every day anyway. So I'm just going to pump a couple of pumps. It's blue, but it doesn't look blue on the skin. Okay, while that's setting in, I'm just going to tell you guys about a few foundations. I like quite a few drugstore foundations, and I only have one high-end foundation. I have the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation, which if I was going to prom now, probably would use that one, to be honest. It's full coverage, long lasting, but I do have to use a mixer for it. But other alternatives from the drugstore, I have this one, which is probably the oldest foundation I have in my collection now. This is the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation in the shade True Ivory. I have gone through, like, this is probably my third or fourth bottle of this. And then I've got the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. This is really nice as well. Then I've also got the Revolution Pro full coverage foundation, which you can mix in with this one if it's not full coverage enough for you. Then I only just tested this out yesterday when I'm filming this, but I have a full video up on this now. This is the MUA Pro Base Longwear Matte Foundation, which I actually really like already, and they've got a really nice shade range. Today I'm going to be using, I'm just putting everything that I'm not using into a bag, into my makeup bag. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Superstay. I'm going to be using a brush and then blending it out with a sponge. I recommend, if you're using a brush, to go over with a sponge afterwards. My foundation isn't popping up properly. So I'm just going to dot this. You don't have to do full coverage for prom, but just because of my skin's quite red. It shows up more red on camera than it does in real life. Just to let you know. And I think I just got foundation on my crotch. Love that. I'm wearing black leggings, so oh yeah, I really have too much. I just use full coverage foundations quite a lot anyway, because I have red skin and I want to hide. But if you want to go for a medium coverage foundation for prom, and if that's what you're comfortable with, or no foundation at all, then that's absolutely fine. You don't even have to like properly stick to this tutorial, but the coverage, man. This is just what I would do if I had the products and the skills that I had back in the day. This would be how I would do my makeup, because I'm just a lot more skilled, and I'm not even like, well, I'm not even that skilled now, but like I'm more skilled and know more about like foundations and everything like that nowadays. You can also colour correct before you do your foundation, but you don't have to. By the way, using a sponge after using a brush just makes everything look a bit more seamless, and a bit more skin-like, just like that. So concealers. I think that everyone has this concealer. This is the Revolution one, but I also love the L'Oreal Infallible one. This is a bit too light for me, because I'm a bit of a dick and did not get the correct shade. However, I would definitely recommend the Revolution one to anyone, and I always do. I use it as an eye base. I have quite a lot of spots for it now, because, well, actually I don't even know, I think my skin just reacted really badly to like a product. I'm not sure that it liked whatever I was using. I have no idea what I was using to make it do this, but you know, these things happen. My skin isn't perfect. No, not in any way, shape or form is it perfect. So no one's perfect. As Hannah Montana says, nobody's perfect. Right, that's my face pretty much. The next few items I have a bit of a recommendation for. I don't have any high-end powders. However, I have heard that the Born This Way one by Too Faced or the Sweet Peach one by Too Faced is really nice. Also Laura Mercier and all that sort of stuff. If you have those, you can use those. I have the Collection Primed and Ready Invisible Setting Powder. This is my favourite. I've gone through two of these and recently fallen back in love with it. This is my favourite pressed powder. Ow. It's got witch hazel in it as well, so it has like properties to help fight spots. But I don't know if that actually works. And I've also got the Rimmel Match Perfection. This is my second tub. I think this one's like pretty much new. Whoa, that's a lot of powder. This is the one that I'm going to be using today. And I've also, in this old Rimmel Match Perfection pot, have the RCMA No Colour Powder. So if you have that, you can use that. I think today I'm going to be using the Rimmel one. I have not used it for a while, so I'm going to do set my eyes first. This is a lot of powder. Oops. I'm going to set my eyes first, and then set the rest of my face. Sorry if your face looks a little bit too powdery. We will be fixing that. Ow. I had like a loose bit of skin, so I was like, oh, I'll pick it off, and ow, that really hurt. My hay fever's been acting up recently, and my nose gets really crusty. I know that's pretty TMI, but like, ow, that was the last of it. I'm just gonna try and cover that up. Yeah, that's not gonna be covered up. I know that people bake. I don't bake personally, but in the places I know that I did this for when I went to go see Panic at the Disco, and my face literally lasted like all night. I think I literally got like home at like 1:30 in the morning, and my face was just a tiny bit oily. But I took my sponge with a bit of loose powder, like that. Didn't bake, but in the places I got oily, I just sort of pressed the powder into my skin. Don't worry if you look a little bit powdery, we are bringing our face back to life very shortly. But this is just what I did. I actually did this to my whole face, but I find that if I do this method before powdering my whole face first, it looks really weird, it picks up weirdly, and it just doesn't look the best. So I do it after I've powdered, just to help my makeup last a little bit longer. For me personally, I know that my foundation doesn't come off as such with these foundations that I've like recommended, but it starts to get oily and like sometimes cake up a little bit. If in my chin area and stuff, I've got foundation and powder everywhere. Just gonna get a makeup wipe and wipe stuff. This is the point where I would definitely recommend spraying your face with some fixing spray. Just like any cheap one will do. I, on the night of Panic, did one of I think I did just a Revolution setting spray after like at this step, and then put the all-nighter spray on after I finished the whole of my makeup. So you can do that if you want to. Recently, I've been using the hyaluronic essence spray from Revolution just to help bring life back to my skin. Although this one, which is Revolution Hyaluronic Fixing Spray, does the same thing, and the Revolution Base Fix is pretty good as well. I recommend either, so I'm just going to take a bit of this. Or a lot of this. This just helps to bring your face back to life after you've caked it in powder. This is also the step where I take my the foundation off my lips and put lip balm on. However, actually I'm still going to do that. Another tip, especially with skincare, that I recommend when you're doing makeup for prom, using a lip scrub. I currently use, and I'm leaning on something right now, so if you hear a noise, that's that. I normally use Jeffree Star lip scrub, but I know that that's £12, and I know that's a lot of money for a lip scrub. But I have the Barry M lip scrub in peppermint here, which isn't as wet and it's a little bit drier, but I have used a lot of this. I think this is like a fibre, so if you get like a 3 for 2 offer from like Superdrug or Boots, so it would probably be the cheapest item depending on how much you buy. But I definitely recommend using a lip scrub. But this stage is where I put a lip balm on and do my brows. So I'm just using the Carmex Classic. Okay, so now is the point where I do my brows. I used to do my brows with pomade, and for prom, I had this like, you know, like the 12 Days of Christmas sets from Revolution, they have the brow palette. I used to use that, but I used to use way too light of a shade. my brows really weird. But a pomade I recommend is the Revolution Brow Pomade. This one's just in medium brown. But I don't really use pomades anymore. I tried using a pomade for the first time in months the other day. Did not go down very well. I've clearly forgotten how to do it, so usually I just take this Barry M Take a Brow brow gel, and that's it. But for prom, I would also use a brow pencil. This is the MUA Brow Define Micro Precision Brow Pencil. This one's in medium brown. This brow gel is also I think it's a Benefit Gimme Brow dupe. Really tiny wand. Just make sure you scrape all of the stuff with the wand first, so it's not too harsh. I'm just gonna go do my brows off camera because I'm very bad at my brows, and I'll be right back. I like my brows like fluffy and natural looking. I mean, I know with the pencil it doesn't look as natural, but it looks a lot more natural than using pomade to me. Another brow gel that I really recommend, but I don't have it with me, is the Maybelline Micro, I think it's called the Fiber Filler Brow Gel. Sort of really like pointed tip. I am repurchasing that soon. I ran out of it ages ago and bought that Barry M one instead, but both of them work just as well. But I do prefer the Maybelline one just because it's a little easier to work with. But £5. Eyeshadow time now. I was debating what eyeshadow palette to use, and you can use literally any eyeshadow palette you have or want to use, or you don't have to use eyeshadow at all. For my prom, I used, I think it was like a gift set that I had that had like a massive like palette in it, and they were really cool toned. I don't like cool toned eyeshadows anymore. I love warm tones. So now I'm going to recommend a few palettes. I have one here, which is what I'm going to use today, which is Anastasia Soft Glam. I know that quite a few people have this, and I know quite a few people have Modern Renaissance. So basically, just use whatever eyeshadow palette you want to use. But the palette that I would use nowadays would be Soft Glam, to be honest with you. But I know a lot of people also have Soph Extra Spice, which would be a drugstore option that I would use, but I've used like the neutrally colours. But you can create any look with this. I would also recommend the Revolution Reloaded £4 palette. The pigment is insane, the blendability is incredible, and for £4 you get so many shades. And I think you can get a dupe for Soft Glam as well as Naked Heat and all that sort of stuff as well. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to use Soft Glam today. I'm going to use a mixture of brushes. Please don't take what I say as gospel. Just a few blending brushes. Got a really like longer fluffy brush, more dense one, and a little short one. My brushes aren't clean. I recommend cleaning your brushes beforehand. I know I probably don't need to tell you, but I'm just going to take the shade over the lid that's like similar to my skin tone. You can do any look, by the way. You can do one that complements your dress, one that complements maybe like a hairpiece you're wearing, like maybe you're wearing flowers in your hair. I had a little 1950s style dress with, it was black with like flowers on it, like pink flowers. So I had my nails pink, I had a pink little hair piece with flowers on. My clutch was black just because, and my shoes were black as well. And my eyeshadow, my whole makeup was like, I had like a pinky nude on my lip, which was Revolution Matte Chauffeur, the bullet looking MAC ones, and then a cool toned eye look, which I really didn't want to do, but you know, didn't have any choice, didn't have much eyeshadow. I'm just going to take a little bit of burnt orange and really lightly start working this into, well, just above my crease. Please don't take this as like an actual tutorial for the eyes, because it's not. I'm just showing you what I would do nowadays. If you want a tutorial on how to do eyeshadow properly, please don't watch my videos for those sorts of things, because that's not what my channel is about. I am really bad at eyeshadow still. I've been doing my makeup properly for like 2 years, but I've done eyeshadow for like 3 or 4 I think, so wouldn't really trust me if I were you. I'm going to take a little bit of sienna and put that more so on my crease. And just blending it out. I'm just basically building up as many shades as I can, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of a shimmer on the lid. You can do a cut crease. I'm not skilled, and if I was like going to prom now, I mean I would probably try and do a cut crease, but I really am not good at cut creases at all. So I would probably mess that up. I know last year I did a video how I did my prom makeup versus how I would do it now, which was a year ago, like I said. And I did a cut crease in that, but really terribly. So I would stay away from things that you don't know how to do properly. And I'm just going to take a bit of mulberry and deepen this outer corner of mine with a little bit of sienna, just so that I can deepen. I was originally going to do like an all matte look. By the way, I've got hay fever, so my hay fever is just acting up. Yeah, I was gonna do like I've done this. I think I've done this look before, where I've done like lighter brown, always like a really nice warm brown, and like gold or whatever colour you want on the inner corner. Thought someone was breaking into my house then. Just the post. Isn't that the story of my life? And like doing it all matte with like maybe like a really like nice shimmer on the inner corner. But then I was like, I wouldn't do that now. I would do this sort of a look. I'm then just going to take that same brush and a little bit of sienna with a little bit of burnt orange and just take that underneath my lower lash line. And then just going to take like a really short fluffy brush, a short dense packed brush, and I think I'm going to take, hang on, I have no idea what I'm going to take today. I'm going to take the shade Rose Pink, which I don't really think I've used properly yet, and just start to place it on my lid. This shade doesn't really need Fix Plus or whatever you want to call it, like, or anything like a fixing agent to help it. This palette's shimmers are very pigmented, so I don't really need to do it. But if you need to for your palette that you're using, that's absolutely fine. I just know that these shimmers are like butter. This whole palette is just buttery, and that's why I absolutely love it. I'm just going to take a somewhat clean, fluffy brush and just go ahead and soften. This is a really like soft eye look. Oh, I know that the sun's a bit weird today. I'm not really sure that helped. Oh, I need to put a little bit more rose pink. I think I blended it too much. Maybe that's a bit better. Oh, I've got like rose pink under eyes. Now I'm going to take my mascara. I have a few recommendations. I'm going to use Benefit Bad Girl Bang today, just because this is my favourite mascara at the moment, and I feel like it goes. And I feel like quite a few people have this as well. A really cheap drugstore alternative, though. It's not the same formula at all, but it's still really nice. It's a Collection Lash Surge. I advise getting your mascaras in waterproof. Just because you might be sweating, you might be crying, you might be doing whatever's. So I would recommend that. I use the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I just don't have that with me. Again, another thing I'm going to be reordering because I've run out of it and I really want it back. So I'm just going to go off camera and do this. You've seen me apply mascara millions of times. So I'm just going to go and apply that off camera. So I'll be back. Okay, my bottom lashes aren't done because I just did this to myself. So I'm going to have to go back and do my bottom lashes and fix that up. So I'm just going to do my base first, the back to my base. So if you're one to contour, I'm not sure if you are, I really recommend from the drugstore the Revlon Photo Ready Insta Sculpt palette. So it's got a contour, bronzer, a blush and a highlight. You could literally just buy this instead of buying like everything individually. But I literally just use this palette for the contour shade up here. And I use this on a massive, massive fan brush. And I just take a little bit and run it like this. So from like the top of my ear down to the corner of my mouth. Bringing it like this a little bit. On both sides. And I'll do a little bit around my forehead too. I'm really annoyed at myself that I did that to my face. My makeup was going so well. Like, my mascara looks great apart from that, so, you know, that's my life. Dropping brushes on the floor too, so great. This is why people do their, like, I can't remember what her name is. Does her foundation first, then her eyes, then goes back to skin, so that if she needs to clean up anything, and she's not like already powdered. I would usually just scratch it off, but it's like not dry yet, so I'm just gonna try and fix that quick. Okay, I fixed that the best I can do. My advice for prom makeup is to give yourself enough time that if you need to take your makeup fully off and redo the whole thing, you can. Just in case you don't like your makeup look on the day that you do. Like, I know that people like practice their makeup months in advance, and I know I did. And if I had to go back in and like if I had to redo my makeup, I would have actually had time. Like, I did it so that I had time. So also it's so that you can also fix mistakes like that. Normally I would say if it's like a really small little thing like that, take a spoolie when it's dry and just gently like try and get it off, but I can't get anything off, so I just try and cover it up with concealer and then put some more powder on it. But now I'm going to use bronzer. I have a couple of recommendations. So if you're looking for a drugstore one, the Revolution Ultra Bronze, which is massive, and I think it's discontinued now, maybe, I don't know. But this is like my favourite drugstore bronzer that they do, that the drugstore does. They've got some new ones out that I baked. I haven't tried those out, but I've heard good things. This one's the CYO bronzing powder in Fair. It looks really warm, so if you like warm tones like this, like really warm bronzers, go for this. I mean, it doesn't show up that orange on the skin. My favourite bronzer of all time is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I'm not sure you can tell, you know. I mean, definitely can't tell from like inside here. There's like no panage, nothing, like not even like the writing's rubbed off. I mean, it's not as deep as it used to be, but I'm just gonna use the Too Faced one just because it's my favourite bronzer. I recommend bronzing on the points where you would highlight. I know the light makes everything look weird for this, but on your cheekbones I would bronze where you highlight. I've got a bit of hair here. It's so annoying, it gets in the way of everything. But like when I'm straightening my hair, I can't actually see it to straighten it out. This is actually the Bake Off brush from the Beauty Bay Rose Gold brush set that I tried out quite a few weeks ago. I absolutely love it for bronzer. It's like dense but like still slightly fluffy enough to like bronze. If you're into the contouring nose thing, good for you. I can't do it. And even if I could, I wouldn't want to do it. Everything's falling out of my makeup bag. That's so fun and fresh. Blush time. Oh, another contour I recommend is a Maybelline Master Sculpt. Just something like that. 2 blushes. One's from Beauty Bay. One's from Boots or Superdrug. I love both of them for different things. This is the Milani Luminoso Baked Blush. I've used this so many times that I'm starting to think that I'm not using it enough to like hit pan. Like, it's so big still. But then the other blush I think I want to use today is the L'Oreal Life's a Peach. It smells nice, but I can't smell it. It's got like sort of a goldeny sheen to it. I'm not really sure you can tell in the pan. I'm just going to take a dense blush. A dense, like, this is actually a contouring brush, but, you know, and put some on my cheeks. Oh, I'm going to have to stop using that blush again. I switch out between Luminoso and this blush, like, all the damn time. So much so that, like, I'm just like, in, out, in, out, in, out. Right, highlighter time. There's so many drugstore highlighters that I love. W7 Glow Commotion is incredible. The, what's it called? The Ice, or the palettes from Revolution Pro, that like the trios. Primark do some good ones. Just Revolution in general. The Soph X Revolution palette. The just normal Revolution palettes. Oh, excuse me. Maybelline Face Studio Chrome Extreme. They've now come out with some nicer shades for us pale people, and it's actually incredible. It looks so nice. However, this is too pinky for my liking. I used to love this when I first got it, but now I'm just sort of meh. Oh, if you want to put eyeliner, like liquid, like pencil eyeliner, the LA Girl Ultimate Eye Intense Stay Auto Liner. This one's just in brown, but I've got black as well. They are so good and so long lasting that I recommend it highly. Yeah, highlight I'm going to use is the Jouer powder highlighter in the shade Citrine. It looks so dark in the pan, but actually it's like, it's such a nice shade for me. I have no idea how it suits me at all, and it's not too dark. On your skin, it doesn't look dark at all. It just looks like a nice goldeny toned highlighter, but like from the front you can't tell that it's on your face. Like, I feel like I can just about get away with it. My only issue is that it's quite a bit of fallout. Like, I feel like I lose half of it all the time. I'm just going to put some on my inner corner. You can put eyeshadow on your inner corner, but I prefer putting a highlighter. I feel like it looks a bit more uniformed. Not universal, uniformed. Highlight where you would normally highlight. I mean, I've stopped highlighting my nose bridge, but why not? It'll be prom. I absolutely love this highlight. This highlight's my favourite. It's from Beauty Bay. It's like, I don't remember how much it is. Right, see ho. Lipstick. So I'm just going to take off my lip balm. That's always a good start. I just have some like cheap Primark wipes on hand to do this. But I use wipes every time I do my makeup. So we have a selection of lip recommendations here. I love Ofra's liquid lipsticks, LA Splash, the Wickedly Divine collection. Their liquid lipsticks are amazing. Then we've also got Jeffree Star, which if I was going to prom now, I probably would use my Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in the shade Celebrity Skin. NYX liquid suede are really nice. Just Revolution's like bullet lipsticks are good. I have a Maybelline Superstay here. This is in the shade Driver. I've used this once, but I like the shade. I mean, it's a bit yellowy for my skin tone, but like, they are long lasting. They are thick but long lasting. Then we've got the new L'Oreal Colour Rouge lipsticks. If you can find a lip colour that you like in this range, I definitely recommend. This is in the shade I Explore. It's like a brownie, and it comes out a bit darker than it looks in the tube. So if you want, just swatch these in store. But these feel like water on your lips. They are incredible and so long lasting. Like, it's unreal. I also have a red of that. So, lip liner wise, there's also Primark's. This isn't just in the shade Toffee. I'm not sure how this is supposed to like sharpen, or if you're supposed to sharpen it or what, but it doesn't look like you're supposed to sharpen it. But it also has like a twisty thing that comes off, so I don't know what's happening there. You know, I think I broke it last time I used it, so. And then you've got the Revolution lip glosses, which I absolutely love, and over lipsticks, incredible. My favourite combo that I've used, well, I've had this lipstick since December, and I tried this lip liner out about 4 months ago now. Love the pair. There's the Maybelline Colour Sensational Nude Whisper lipstick, lip liner, and this is the Nude Embrace lipstick by them. So first, I'm just going to take the lip liner. This is like a bit darker than the lipstick. You can really like do whatever you want with lip liner. I mean, you don't have to use it, but I recommend it for prom. Can't really see this colour on my lips, but it's there. And I'm just going to put the lipstick. I'm just going to dab it on. I'm not going to like properly swipe it. Like, it still puts the colour on. This is such a pretty shade by itself too. But the lip liner just adds to it. Adds a bit of dimension. But I definitely recommend these. These are so comfortable to wear and so like really matte. This would be where I apply some more setting spray. I'm going to use the Hyaluronic Fix again. Just going to cover my eyes. That didn't go on my face properly. You can also use the Mario Badescu spray. I would too, but that's just me. But you can also add like lip gloss over the top. I don't really wear lip gloss that often, so I wouldn't be comfortable wearing lip gloss, but that's the look. Well, there you guys go. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, thumbs up, subscribe, whatever. I make videos every Saturday at 6 PM. If you want to check out my channel, on the end card I have left my last video and my channel, so you can just click on that. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else to say, but yeah, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week, so bye.